Bastard Munchen has just scored the second goal against Manchester City, giving them a 1-goal lead. Rio takes a look over at Nagi and says that Nagi is more and more becoming like a monster. After that, Rio thinks back to the time Nagi chose to go with Nagi instead of him. Rio says that he never wants to be the guy who doesn't get chosen and wants to avoid experiencing the feeling ever again. Rio also says that it wasn't Nagi's fault and it was him that needed to change. He ends it all with saying that he needs to show the world that Rio Mikage can fight by himself. But just then, Nagi comes forward telling Rio that he wants to beat Nagi. He tells Rio that right now he doesn't have a chance of beating Nagi and asks Rio for advice before telling him that soccer isn't fun anymore. Rio tells Nagi that he doesn't care anymore and that this is the path that Nagi shows himself. But after that, Nagi goes forward telling Rio that playing alongside each other was fun. And when Rio is just about to walk away, Nagi ends it by asking for Rio's help. Rio stops himself and asks Nagi if he ever thinks about others' feelings. He tells Nagi that he had to crawl up without being chosen many times over, and when Rio finally decided to keep fighting and get stronger on his own, that's when Nagi wants to come back. Rio tells Nagi to stop talking to him as if he can manipulate his feelings with Nagi's ever-changing feelings. But Nagi tells Rio that he has gotten it all wrong. He tells Rio that ever since the day Rio invited him to play football with him, Nagi has always been by his side, and that Nagi always kept making the best choices to make their dreams come true. He tells Rio that the two of them couldn't beat Nagi before, but now it's a different story as both of them have gotten a lot stronger. Rio asks Nagi what his ego is, and Nagi tells him that it is their dream. After that, Rio tells Nagi that he's a real pain before telling him to play soccer together. And with that, the game is back on. Nagi has the ball and looks over at Nagi before saying that Nagi's moments have clearly leveled up from before, and that in this game, he's slowly becoming the eye of the storm. Nagi also says that he wants Nagi to awaken and to take the next step, but he doesn't get to say much more as Kunigami goes to block him. Nagi tries to move Kunigami's center point to get behind him, but it doesn't work that easily. Nagi takes a look at the field and says that right now is a bad idea to move, as Rio, Shigeru and Kaiser are all on standby, and if he also went in, it would go into a 3 vs 3 situation. But just then, Nagi remembers the time between Noah and Lavinio, when Lavinio used Nagi as a tool to get behind Noah. Just then, Shigeru screams to Nagi to pass him, but Nagi tells him that he moved too soon. As Nagi is going to steal the ball, he meets with Kaiser, who also had the same idea as Nagi. Please just take a quick moment of silence to Nagi, who just fell to the ground. Anyway, Nagi now knows that he made the correct decision and that his vision is in the same dimension as Kaiser's. The loose ball falls to Rio, and Kaiser orders Ness to go steal it. With Ness coming up behind Rio, he is forced to pass to Nagi. Rio copies Itoshi Sai's pass to make a 1-2 with Nagi, who uses his back heel to get the ball over to Rio. Nagi goes over to Rio and asks what he is doing. He tells Rio that he is supposed to use Nagi in Rio's own ideas, because if we do that, then Nagi's creativity won't flourish, but Rio just tells him to shut up. Rio is set on devoting his newly evolved chameleon style to help Nagi score. Rio also thinks that it can be his gateway to enter his flow state. And with Nagi and Rio once again teaming up, they're looking more dangerous than ever before. Nagi knows that to beat Rio and Nagi, he will have to use his meta vision to predict the best place for them to reach. Kurna goes forward to stop Rio, but is faced with some hyper-sweet scissors, which let him pass. After that, Nagi and Rio uses their 1-2 pass once again to break through Bastard Munchen's defense. In the middle of their attacks, Rio takes a moment to think back. He thinks about Nagi, the guy who was unmotivated and who thought that everything was a drag, to the Nagi now that says that he wants to have a dream. Rio also thinks back to when he split up. Rio admits that he was frustrated and that he resented Nagi, but he still had the resolve to move on by himself. Rio ends it with thanking Nagi and says that if they are together, they can achieve anything. Rio passes the ball to Nagi, who jumps up and makes a double trap with his chest and leg. After that, the ball goes to Rio, who right out the bat passed it back to Nagi, who once again shows off his crazy football abilities. But behind Nagi works both Kaiser and Nagi, who read both Rio's and Nagi's movements. But Nagi isn't phased as he passes the ball backwards to Rio. Rio has to decide if he wants to pass it behind Nagi or Kaiser, but in the end, he knows that there's only one way they can go. And that's of course behind Kaiser, so that Nagi is left with Nagi. Nagi traps the ball as it's going down, and he pretends to shoot, but Nagi was able to see it through with his meta vision. Nagi thinks that Nagi will do a 2-stage fake volley, so he tries to stop him from getting into his position, but when he does so, he realizes that Nagi wasn't going to do his 2-stage fake volley, but instead a regular fake volley. Kaiser goes to block Nagi, but ends up getting hit by the same move Nagi used on Nagi. Nagi says that he can still manage to reach Nagi, but when he goes in to take the ball, it doesn't end too well for him, as he gets hit by another one of Nagi's fake volleys. As the ball is up in the air, Nagi thanks Nagi and tells him that he is now the best player in the world, as he jumps up and shoots the ball into the net, making one of the craziest goals ever. As Nagi hits the ground, he screams out of happiness. Ryo also runs to him and makes a high five with the genius himself. As Nagi is walking, he says that he finally won and that he finally beat Usagi. After that, he says that winning sure feels good, and that's how Nagi became the best player in the world. And before you come at me, he said it himself, it's not my words. But honestly, wanna say that this is one of my favorite moments in the series, I mean it. The way Nagi and Ryo completely broke through Buster Mancho's whole team by themselves was absolutely insane. And it feels so good to have Ryo and Nagi back on good terms again, because even though how much I liked Usagi's and Nagi's little bromance they had going on the second selection arc, it doesn't come close to the real deal. And with Nagi making all kind of new traps and new feints, I'm really left wondering, what's left for him? Because come on, he did 5 fake volleys in a row and also ended it with an insane goal. You can honestly name the most impossible and mind-breaking trap, and Nagi will do it on his first try. I also really like the last panel where Nagi said that winning sure feels good, because it's such a good parallel to the chapter where it says that he hates to lose. Honestly, I could talk about this match forever, but for your sake I will end it here. But in return, I would like to hear what you thought about this match, and what do you think is left for Nagi to even learn, and what's next for him. And if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you to subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also leave a like and a comment, as it helps out a ton with the algorithm. And if you're curious to see how Usagi surpassed both Rin and Shido, then please watch a video which will be popping up on the screen right now. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day, bye.